So you're doing annuity research. That's pretty cool. I mean, you must be leaning in to see, hey, does this make sense for me? So the question is, what are annuities commonly used for? There's a multitude of things people try to use them for, but the primary reason that people buy annuities, most annuity types, would be for lifetime income, because it's the only product on the planet. I mean, unique benefit proposition is that annuities provide lifetime income that you can never outlive. You would think that the annuity industry would kind of pound the table on that and promote that. For some reason, they haven't done that. Hopefully in the future, I will be named Annuity Czar of the country, and I will promote that with my Got Guarantees t-shirt and talking about lifetime income. But there's more to it than that. So they're commonly used for income, but they also can be used for other things. We're going to discuss that, go through kind of the history of annuities, where that all started, and then some easy to remember acronyms and questions that will allow you to choose the right annuity or even make a decision if an annuity is right for you. And at the very end of this video, I will send you all of my annuity owner's manuals for free, so hang in there with me, and also tell you how to get quotes, etc. if you're interested in looking at that as well. So let's get started. So what is an annuity? An annuity is a contract. It's a transfer of risk. Started in the Roman times. The Roman soldiers got spias, immediate annuity payments, lifetime income streams for them and their families for their dutiful service to the empire. That's where it started. Annuities have been sold in this country for hundreds of years, but they're just kind of starting to hit their stride a little bit, because we have 10,000 baby boomers retiring every single day, and most people want guarantees. You get to the end of the road, you've worked hard, you've saved, you've scrimped, you have this lump sum of money, you don't want to lose it. You don't want to see some market event or some catastrophic event wipe all of that hard work away. So where do annuities fit? They kind of fit there, when you're saying, okay, we need a lifetime income stream that we can never outlive, me and my spouse, whatever. That's an annuity guarantee that most people are looking for. So there's a couple of things that I've come up with that are unique to Stan the Annuity Man that makes this whole process easy, because when you look at annuities as a whole, you're just getting all this sales pitch information, you don't know what to think. Let me give you an acronym. P.I.L.L, P-I-L-L. P stands for principal protection, I stands for income for life, L stands for legacy, the other L stands for long-term care, confinement care. So P-I-L-L. Remember that, because if you do not need to solve for one or more of those four items, you do not need an annuity. Now I know everyone's out there going, but hey, Stan, how about growth? How about market growth? I want market growth. In my world, in Stan the Annuity Man's contractual guarantees only, will do, not might do world. Will do meaning contractual guarantees, might do is potential. You don't buy annuities for potential. If you need market growth, you really don't need an annuity type, in my opinion, and I'm right, by the way. So P.I.L.L, remember that. The other thing that's important to remember, just two questions. And if you ask these two questions and answer them, then you're going to find out if you need an annuity, and if so, what annuity type you need. So the first question is, what do I want the money to contractually do, underline contractual, and when do I want those contractual guarantees to start? From those two questions and the P.I.L.L, that will determine whether you need an annuity or not, and if you do, which type to quote. Okay, so I was on a panel the other day, some financial thing, and they bring me in, and I'm sitting up there with a bunch of money managers. I call them masters of the universe. They think that nothing they do is wrong, bless their hearts. And they're kind of all putting down annuities in a vague sort of way, but at the same time, they're talking about Social Security planning and pension planning and all of these things. And I finally just said, I hate to break up this party, but pensions and Social Security, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, wouldn't those be defined as annuities? They're like, well, of course. I'm like, well, then how are you putting down annuities? Now, I know what they were doing. They're putting down kind of some of the sales practices, and there's people out there pushing the envelope on, I don't care what's being sold. But the point is, I had to reel them in a little bit and say, hey, stop putting annuities down and then talking good about pension income stream and Social Security income stream, because those are annuity payments. So when you hear the whole "I hate annuities" thing, reel that in. There's agendas behind it. Most of the money managers don't like annuities, in my opinion, because they can't charge a fee for that. They can't charge that wrap fee for the annuity. Once the person buys an immediate annuity, that money's, is going to be a lifetime income stream. It's annuitized, and they can't manage it, or they can't charge a fee. So anytime you hear a negative story about annuities, just kind of look at the source, and it might explain why it's a negative story. So what are annuities commonly used for? We talked about the P.I.L.L, so let's go through kind of the product types and where that fits in that P.I.L.L. So principal protection would be multi-year guarantee annuities, which are the annuity industry's version of a CD, and fixed indexed annuities, which CD type annuity, it's not a market type annuity, it's a CD type annuity, it's fixed. So those fall under principal protection. Income for life would be the single premium immediate annuity. It was for income now. Deferred income annuity, a DIA, which is income later, it's an immediate annuity, but just deferred. And then you have a QLAC, qualified longevity annuity contract, which using your IRA, it's a deferred income annuity inside of your IRA, but those are all lifetime income type products. And then you have what's called an income rider, which is an attached benefit to a deferred annuity, typically a variable or index that solves for future income needs. The L for legacy would be if you want to buy a fixed annuity and just leave that portion leave all of that growth to your beneficiaries, or you can buy a death benefit rider that grows by a specific percentage that can be paid out to your beneficiaries upon your demise. So that's the L. And then the other L is long-term care. And there are some annuities out there that actually solve for long-term care or confinement care. And it's all going to be dependent upon whether you qualify for specific products, et cetera. Some are guaranteed issues, some you have to go through telephone interviews, but there are annuities out there for solving for long-term care. So those are the types that solve the P.I.L.L, the principal protection, income for life, legacy, and long-term care. Notice there's no G for growth, because Stan the Annuity Man believes that if you want market growth, you don't need an annuity, because annuities are contracts and they're transfer of risk products. And with the P.I.L.L, you're transferring the risk to the annuity companies to solve for that specific issue. All right, so we've covered a lot. I hope I've answered the questions on kind of what annuities are used for. There's a video I just did on multi-year guarantee annuities I would encourage you to take a look at. I've written a book on it as well that I'd love to send you. In fact, I'd like to send you all 6 of my owner's manuals. Very informative, and it will help you in your quest to understand, number 1, if you need an annuity, and number 2, if so, what type fits. And then once you figure out what type, then you can do your research using my books, and you can go to stantheannuityman.com we got all kinds of information. I've got a blog, I've got podcast, all kinds of stuff, and you can talk to me and get a quote, all that stuff. With that, do me a favor before I tell you how to get the books. Hit the subscribe button. It does me a favor, because I want a bunch of subscribers. I want that number to be high, and I want you to be part of it, and I appreciate you doing that. Number 2, to get the books, go to the more info thing underneath me. You'll see it says more info. Just click that, and you'll see a drop down, and from that drop down you will see a place to hit a link, and it will take you to a page to fill in your shipping information, and then I'll ship you all 6 of these owner's manuals. You'll get them in about 7 to 10 days, and then feel free to contact me from there at stantheannuityman.com. See you next time.